Hello. I don't know how to use Discord apparently.
I'm not sure if my Discord is working while I have EQ up.
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Well, yeah, when I have Discord as the active window, it's working, but it doesn't make the noise or anything when I have the EQ window open.
It seems I'm experiencing the same issue. I know that I've had this working before though.
Yeah, it's really weird, because I swear we were using it just fine before, and I knew that Win EQ was like causing me a problem at one point, I thought, but...
Yeah, I will have to experiment with it. Let's see if I can get it working.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Whatever.
Hello. We seem to be having trouble with getting Discord to work while the EQ window is up.
Run Discord as an administrator and it should go through. So close it out completely and then run it as administrator when you reopen.
All right. I seem to have lost the picture, but I can restart EQ. Never had to do that before.
I totally missed what you said there.
I've never had to run Discord as an admin.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know that I had a Windows update yesterday, so could be operating system. I also know that my streaming software is not compatible with the next version of Windows coming out.
There's another one.
Well, just they release iterations on their version, right? I'm actually sure you might have to pay for it. We'll see how that works out. I'm not sure what their business model will be for the next edition.
I see.
But I was reading through the patch notes, and it was right there. So
Fun.
All I hear is headache.
testing, testing.
Hi.
Hey,
Did something break?
I just had to restart the EQ client to get the video back.
Oh.
No, there's not much for me to do here. You guys got this place locked down pretty well.
Oh yeah, we've been doing this for the last 4 days. That's why we're almost 29.
Yeah, no, that's great. You can start porting me.
Yeah, 100 plat.
oh no.
It's a good thing why it's setting the prices.
You're probably right. Okay, it'll be 100 plat once I'm, being the transportable cleric that can res you.
Right, right.
Hey, you'll actually have audio on your YouTube video this time. That's not just you.
Yeah, I will. Which means it takes a lot more effort for me to edit it, but I really think the production value is a lot higher. Not that I don't edit it, I do, but there's not that much editing to do when it's just the video stream.
No. So when you were doing those 16-hour streams, then were you splitting those into several videos, or were you just editing one large video down?
So what I've done is, after recording the stream, I render it down to 4 times speed, and then it's short enough to meet the YouTube requirement. So 16 hours would be 4. I have to admit, this bow is way, way better than the one that I have. Which you also gave me, interestingly enough.
I did.
You gave me a longbow. I think you got it in Unrest, but you could have got it somewhere else. The same day that you gave me the axe, I think you gave me this longbow.
Yeah, that's right.
Way long time ago.
Yeah, that would have been from Crushbone. That Dwarven two-hand axe that's now just sitting on a Shadow Knight that'll probably never get played again.
It happens. Happens all the time. It's the only way that items get removed from this economy unless you sell to the vendor.
That's true. I really should have him, log on the next time I see him, though, and have him trade that stuff back over if he's not going to play. Because that was a lot of ring mail and bandit and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth something anyway. I don't know that it's worth so much that I don't leave it on there in the hopes that he would return, but I also am not terribly optimistic about that.
I don't think so, knowing what I know about Brian. But maybe. I could be wrong.
Another friend, I'm assuming.
Yep.
hoping it doesn't take me too long to sell these things to get my plat back, but we'll see. Felt lazy, I didn't want to grind, so I decided to do some blacksmithing to get forged javelins up to.
That's more than I ever did. Blacksmithing is pretty expensive overall. It's not as expensive as jewelry.
Hey, there's somebody selling a Thex dagger for 140 here in South K.
I have got one running the quest. Actually, it was way easier than I anticipated.
Don't remember if you still needed that or not.
Yeah, it was on my list. I got it yesterday. Also, I really got everything. There's I should probably just stick to trying to get a group here and gaining levels, as I've got all the legacy gear that I wanted. I was able to buy the other 2 items off the market. I paid double for one of the rings, but it was worth it to me. That is a competitive price.
Who for mine? The javelins?
No, the Thex dagger for 140 is on par with what I've seen.
Awfully talkative.
I'm too busy eating, and nobody wants to listen to me crunch.
My fault. I haven't turned Discord on my computer on in a while, so I keep getting fucking. Excuse my language. You're streaming. My bad.
I think I read the policy, and excessive profanity can be an issue, I suppose. But I've never had any sort of contact or anything with regards to not following the rules. So, and there's been a little bit of swearing on this channel before, so I think you're probably fine.
Okay. Well, in that case, no.
I mean, I have to wonder how good their algorithms are. There could be all kinds of swearing in obscure languages, and nobody would even know. Or you can make up new expletives. So I'm not doing anything interesting right now, just running to Caladem to turn in for the Inlaid Gauntlets quest. And then I think I might head over to Steamfront and see if I can get the Minotaur Hero for a Hero Bracer.
Oh, I see the skull. I might have to buy that.
And one good thing is for many of the items in the game, they retain their value over time. So you don't really risk losing much for many of the purchases. Some of them do, but most stuff will retain its value.
Yeah. I saw the skull that I need for the headband. This guy for 30 plat, but I'm
Yeah, it might be worth that much. You can maybe bargain him down a bit.
Nah, sadly, as soon as I messaged him, he said someone already bought it, or like already pre-met, like beat me to it, basically.
Right. Yeah. Oops.
I mean, it makes sense to get your purple headband at this stage. You're literally 2/3 of the way done with the robe quest, so.
When running all the way across the continent isn't, I'm supposing that you're in the Commons land, right? But even just to do the turn-in, right, you're talking like 40 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Girlfriend was supposed to cook dinner, but I think I'm gonna have to order some food because I'm looking at her passed out as
No. Probably if you don't want to be hungry.
right.
Every time I walk by this toll booth in Western Common Lands, I think of that scene in Blazing Saddles.
Javelin sold faster than I thought I would.
Given that they are a, what do we call that? Consumable. There's probably some demand there.
Especially right now. It's the longest throwing weapon. And they stack, so.
So it's not too hard to end up in a situation where you're carrying far more of them than would be reasonable under the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the abstraction breaks down.
Good part now is it took me about 100 plat to go from 0 to 60, 61, which is their. But then I kept going to make the 7 stacks, and I just sold all 7 stacks for 105 plat. So literally just paid for my entire leveling.
Oh, excellent.
And then my game crashes.
Somebody's selling a mana stone.
That camp is cuckoo for Cocoa Puff.
Yep, exactly. I haven't actually looked at the J Boots camp. Maybe I should.
I don't know much. I haven't asked what time, like time-wise.
Yeah, I have to actually go in there. I don't really know Nagina that well. It probably explains why I haven't gone over there.
I went once for a guy who was like, "Hey, I'll help you power level. I'll power level you a little bit in there." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." That lasted all about 45 minutes, but shit, it was free experience. So
It's almost always, if you can have a high level person helping you, it takes all the challenge out of it. Like not all of it, but I don't know, 80% of it maybe, but you're still putting in the time. I might have to label this stream community outreach.
Why is that?
I just gave some vendor trash from Split Pot to somebody who was obviously brand new, level 1, running around in front of Freeport.
Gotcha. I love this age of the internet. Someone was trying to buy the Shiny Brass Idol for $350. But then I went on the Project 99 wiki, and literally the last 7 have been sold for $5.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that the Rings of the Dead that I recently purchased will go up in value. We should get everybody a Thex dagger while we can.
Is it
Everybody who wants
difficult?
one.
Or?
No, it wasn't difficult for me. Faction ratings, notwithstanding, it was super easy for me. Right, I invised up there and I waited for the room to be empty. I handed her the gauntlet. I went back downstairs. I did the next part, which was super easy because I have good standing with the guards of High Hold, and then it was just a matter of hopping on the boat and going to Velwith. There was nothing really hard about it. It would probably be a little challenging without invisibility.
And that's gone when all of the other stuff is gone.
I don't know for certain, but I think it's reasonable to suppose that it will be leaving us, on the 1st. I'm sort of thinking ahead a little bit. I have a monk on blue, and if the server does eventually get rolled into that, I'll be happy to get a Thex dagger for him. I'm not gonna roll up another character just to be able to deal with the lore slot, but I have that level 18 warrior I can use. So I'm sure there are some people here that it is loaded to the gills, though. And I kind of think that if they do decide to roll green into blue, it'll have a serious impact on the economy of certain legacy items on blue. I don't know. I don't really care too much either way.
I feel so bad for this girl right now. Just helping her husband camp the ruby breastplate. They're first in line right now.
Oh no. I've just I was there right next to that camp, getting gators, and there are only like 4 people in line. The guy in front was like, "This camp sucks." I don't know how long he was there. I should have asked.
Yeah, it's a disaster. If it was it Flossie that you were talking to, or
I don't remember. I'd have to go look on the archive.
yeah, Flossie's the shaman, and he literally did so. Him and his wife have done the Mana Stone, which took like 83 hours. Went straight to the Guise, which I don't know how long that one took. And then right after the Guise, they went to Rubicite breastplate, and they're up to like 82 hours on the breastplate, right?
Wow. Yeah. Hopefully that's like a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 split for her.
So
who knows?
yeah, I know, right? It was funny though, because I remember like it was like 4 days ago they started. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sixth in line. You know, it's not too bad. We should be all right." 82 hours, first in line. They keep getting the damn cluster.
Oh, I should see if I can just grab a pair of those or buy them. I think they might be useful to me.
Speaking of which, you had to do the Guise twice, right?
I did. Yes, it was brutal.
How long is that camp?
It was 44 hours for me. So about half that if you don't mess it up.
Okay, so it's basically about 24 hours.
It might be worse now. I mean, we're coming up on the end, so. But you're getting, you know, I don't know what level you are now, but you only have to be level 35 to get on the list. So there was one part the second time that I was number one when the mob turned to run and went out the room, and nobody went after it except for me. And I'm like, thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me take all the risk.
Wow.
It's too bad I don't have that whole thing on video, but there was no way for me to arrange it.
Yeah, I guess when that whole situation went down, I fell asleep. I was watching the shaman because the shaman was at the Mana Stone when that happened. The guy that's doing the ruby breastplate, right? So I got on, and he did. What was it? Bind sight or something where you can like see through your target's eye.
Sure.
So he did that. He was basically watching the Guise camp, and then that in the chat, I was like, "Hey, that's my guild." He's like, "Who, the ranger?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, did you hear what happened?" I'm like, "Nope." And then he told me the story. I was like, "Oh man, ouch."
Yeah, I got a lot of sympathy on that one. I'm really not upset about it at all. Not after the fact, anyway.
Yeah, obviously, like right then and there, you're probably fuming.
Well, there's nothing I could do about it, right? I knew as soon as I died, I wasn't going to be able to get back, and partly that was my own fault for binding, being bound so far away, instead of in front of the troll place, and for not really being prepared for that possibility, right? Having potions on hand to invisibility, because if I had been prepared, right, it wouldn't have been a problem.
That's my biggest thing is like, obviously, what I'm trying to get to the level so I can do it, right? But then on top of that, if I do it, I'm thinking because my girlfriend works at home and her laptop is like right next to me. All I really truly need her to do is just click the button. Hopefully I don't have to be at work. If I don't have to be at work, then I really probably don't need it. But if I have to go to work for like the 5-6 hours, all I really need to do is have her click the button saying that that she's there.
There's a little bit more to it. Every, like, I don't know if it's once half hour or once an hour, you have to type a command as well. It's pretty straightforward. It depends on how engaged her position is, right, as to whether that would be a problem or not.
Yeah, I don't know personally, but I figured if I ever let's
It's not that onerous, so it might be reasonable.
Okay. I was like, let me see if I can even get to the level first before I start into it.
Right. And a necessary prerequisite is getting to level 35.
Mhm.
I don't know. I should maybe drop what I'm doing here. Just finish this quest I'm on. I should try to help you get those levels if I can. I can at least be a buff bot. And I have healing, right? So that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I have. I'll be honest though. The last couple of days, like obviously yesterday, I was doing those quests, and then today I was at work, so I just got home a couple hours ago. Here shortly, I'm definitely going to be going into the whole grind mode.
Yeah, I mean, given that time is of the essence, it makes much more sense, I think, for me to help you out with that. Right? If that's an objective that you have that's within reach, then we should reach for it. I mean, it's mostly, I don't know how helpful it is. I suppose it probably is helpful, at least in Kunark, as far as dealing with the Dark Elf colony over there. It almost certainly has other applications that I'm unaware of.
Because it would help with the OT hammer, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
In particular, which I've never got on blue.
I did it years ago on the Iskar Necro, but I was also on a PvP server on Talon Zek, so that rep grind took fucking forever. Luckily, me and my older brother shared that account / character, so we both did it. You got it?
Yep.
Congrats.
All right, where are you at?
Oh, just chilling in East Commons. I'm trying to think where I can even level. Like, I know I can get probably some groups and Guck and stuff.
I suppose I've actually never grouped in Upper Guck.
I've only done Scryer like twice, and it was really good experience. But that's, from what I hear, like the second best experience. I guess the first is like 3-way or like the lower Guck zone line.
Yeah, I can't speak to it, but I have to think that Guck is one of the most important dungeons in Classic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Scryer itself, I mean, that 3 intelligent, what?
And if you can get a good group, you maybe don't need my help at all, but
See, most of my friends that I've made around this level are all not online right now, so it's pretty much just me. I can throw on the LFG tag, but
I've never found that to be as helpful as going to the camp and asking to be added.
yeah. Trying to see if I could sell the idol real quick. I have someone that's willing to sell me the enameled black mace for like 250. I could sell this idol, then I can get that real quick, and that'll help a lot.
An alternative to Gawk would be House of Unrest. I'm sure there are others. Or Runny Eye, maybe.
Oh, Runny Eye. After yesterday, that's the last place I want to go to.
Sure.
I don't know what level the enchanter was, but I ended up having an enchanter help me try to get the last two pieces of in. Whew. He almost died just entering the 4th level of Run. I mean, we made it, and we were able to get the cube for one of the pieces, but oh man.
Those hard fought victories are the best.
Yeah. That's why I was like super excited. I was just like, man, I don't even want to level anymore now that I got these gloves.
Right. I think next up for me is either a Hero Gauntlet or the Orc Impaler.
I'm gonna give it like 10 more minutes. If it can't get done, I'm just gonna say screw it and go.
Are you able to use the idol?
Yeah, technically.
It doesn't hurt. I guess it's got a really long cooldown.
My original plan was to like, I was gonna keep it, but then started looking at like the pricings that people were paying for it, like 500 gold or 500 plat. So I was like, if I sell it, I could easily get 2 of the maces, and then get a couple of levels. I just go back and camp for it again.
Right, get another one. It's not that big a deal. Sure.
I don't mind selling it to get a gain that I'll basically be good until I think Fist at 35 is what I was reading. So maces until 35, and then once I hit 35, I'm back down to just Fist. But hey, anything more than 10 levels is worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's not so much. 500. It seems like a lot when you're new, but
yeah.
I'm just waiting for the boat here. I'm on my way back. There's always this camp that Zelos and a Chaos Flux are doing right now. I don't know if they're still over there, probably, but it's you're probably at a decent level to start some of the lower mobs there. Zem isn't as high, but it's probably not too difficult.
Where are they at?
Centaurs in Southern Corona. You could probably even still just do the roaming animals in Southern Corona.
Yeah, I think. No, I wasn't running through it. One of the Chronos I was running through, and there was a couple of stuff that was blue and like high. I think it might have been even north.
I mean, I'm not so familiar with Southern Corona, but for sure Eastern Corona has some stuff that's in your level range.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too familiar with the Coronas myself.
Running through the gorge takes forever.
There's the bracelet. That's what I was.
Nice.
That one in the upper guck. That's the one I was referring to.
I mean, I always think that getting a dungeon group is the best. Not always, but usually it's going to be your best bang for your buck. But, well, I mean, given that they're just dueling and they're not splitting experience, it's possible to be efficient with just 2 as well.
Especially outside, though, right? Because you got, I'm assuming the druid's charming.
No, I actually don't think they're doing it that way. Although they maybe could. I don't know if there's something that's level appropriate. Maybe if you charmed Crack Tusk or something, that might work out. Yeah, I mean, that would probably be optimal, but they seem to be doing just fine with just using the Magician Pet and like nuking or whatever.
Yeah. I figured as much. That's why originally my brother made the druid to help with the monk, and I was like, you do realize the druid heals aren't the great until super high level. And when he was playing it, he's like, yeah, these aren't the best. Then with my monk, I outleveled him completely, and I was like,
Yeah, I think for the most part, the druid is they add utility in that they can port people around, but in a group, they're the least effective of the healer classes. They do have the second best nukes in the game.
yeah. That's what I was telling him. He's like, well, shoot, if I'm doing that, if I'm mostly just kind of nuking and utility, I might as well go necro, because that's what he really. I was like, look,
Yeah.
since I outleveled you on the monk already, because I have way more time right now to put into. Why don't I do this? I'll keep playing my monk, and then what I'll do is I'll make like a mage, so it'll be your necro and my mage. Both pets, you got dots, and I have nukes.
I think that Ranger Necromancer works out quite well.
Wow.
Not quite as well as Druid Necromancer. They can really stack the dots then. Should bring a little more tank to the table, but only a little.
So, I mean, my main's still going to be the monk, because I love monks. That's something I've always wanted to do in Classic and never got around to doing it.
I mean, in reflecting on my previous experiences, I decided I should really stick with one class and not roll a bunch of extra characters that I don't really want to play.
Yeah, I'm normally right there with you. The only reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said, I have way more time to play. So, because normally I would be, again, right there with you. One class, stick with that one. Maybe some alts later once that one is good and up.
Honestly, right now, I don't think it's within my social grasp to get the much of the raid gear, and I don't just mean I don't mean just the bosses, right? But the planer, some of the lesser drops that drop from the planer. I've never done any of that stuff. I'm sure that we need more than the 4 of us or 5 of us that are in the guild right now. So, that's a long-term goal to work towards. But I mean, there's a bunch of stuff before that, right? I'd love to go into, once we're up to max level, I'd love to go down into, what is it called? Kedge, right, and get some of the gear that's down there. So I've got goals, but one step at a time.
Yeah. One foot in front of the other, and then we'll talk about that stuff.
I mean, I really should write up a charter so I can, sort of expand the guild and, point people to something. But until last week, I was focused on leveling and getting that Guise. I have a little more time now.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Are you there, Chaos? The boat just arrived. I'll just get on it. That's fine.
You going to Quinos from the boat?
No, I was going to come back and help you out if I could.
Oh, okay.
Right, it can't hurt. If you just want to, maybe want to go to one of the Karanas. I mean, if you can get a dungeon group, that's probably better. But I might as well. I think it would be cool if we could get you there. So I'll do what I can to help make that happen. I can pursue these other goals later. They're not that important.
Sounds good to me. Let me see. Let me check something. Where the hell is he? He's in Freeport. If we can, try to get my brother's necro and
Yeah, that would be good, right? I can stay out of the group, of course, but I can provide healing support and buffs. And, of course, I can kill anything that's lower than half.
wow, I meant into the guild. My bad. Did I say group? I said group, didn't I?
Oh, he's not in the guild yet.
No, not on the necro. He is on his druid. He joined there.
Yeah, probably we can get that taken care of.
So what are we talking about?
How I can assist Fraxis here in getting to level 35 before the time limit.
Before May 1st.
Mm-hmm. In theory. / that's the goal. We're talking about that, and then of course my getting my brother's necro into the guild.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys done the Lightstone turn-in?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
How's the experience?
It's okay, I guess. I wouldn't really. It'd probably be fine for like between 10 and 15, but I don't know that I'd really try and use it beyond. Yeah, the best thing is to use it for money from greater lightstones if you can get greater lightstones.
Yeah. Because there's a couple of reasons. One, I was going to see if I just simply camp those and kill those and just give them to my brother so he can turn them in for his neck.
What race is the necro?
Dark Elf?
Yeah, I mean that could work. Are you talking from like level 1 or what level?
Well, he's 11 now, but if I can get him, to like 13, 14, whatever. Anything to kind of help him since he's limited on playtime.
Fair. I know that 12's where necros start becoming a lot easier and fun.
Yeah. And then I gotta level up a mage to catch him so I can play the mage. So I was figuring I'm just gonna do some Death Fist for my mage and then some Lightstones.
Could do crush bomb belts also for the mage depending on what race you go.
Yeah, that's the tricky part because like I'm half tempted to do Iridescent, but then like I'm really tempted to do Dark Elf.
Yeah, you could totally do Dark Elf. The Sea Fury island is devoid of people camping the Sea Furies. I've never seen that. Ever. I didn't do a camp check. There's probably somebody. But there's a lot of unengaged Sea Furies just walking around.
fortunately, we're about to have a 29 druid, so you'll at least be able to get most alts ported to other places.
Yeah, it's totally exciting. I will definitely be wanting to not have to hoof it from Steamfront to Toxula when I do the Hero Bracer. Like, I don't know, maybe to the tune of 20 platinum. I really think the design choices for, limiting fast travel was really a great design choice. It really sets this game apart even from most modern titles.
Yes. There's just so many, like, for me, coming back to it, like, there's so many small little things that I forgot about that I'm like, man, it's definitely, like, the blind aspect, like, where your entire screen goes black. Like, one, of course, obviously, that first time it happened, I was scared as shit, going, what the hell just happened? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I actually go blind. I can't see my character anymore.
Yep, it's really good. I mean, everybody who's played this game any length of time, right? Even if they only made it to level 5, they probably experienced that. Maybe level 10, but even still, right, Ed? Because you think that your monitor's broken.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, oh, what in the hell? Did my shit just crash? I'm like, oh, no, that's right.
Okay, do you guys know anything about the Sword of Ruin that mages get at 29?
I often ask for one since it's better than the Gladius that I have in my offhand.
Well, so I'm just asking because it says Ward Summoned, right? That's
Yep.
the effect it does?
It's a proc.
Yeah, but I thought it only was supposed to work on summoned creatures, right?
That's correct. It only works on summoned creatures.
Because my pet has actually been proccing it for 41 damage against these centaurs.
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's broken.
Mythologically, they are summoned creatures, but
I'm sure it's unrelated to EverQuest, but using the I'm not sure how to refer to it, but the planar description from I don't want to say Forgotten Realms, but from Planescape. The centaurs would be from the chaotic good plane, and they might be considered summoned. I don't know about that. You probably can summon them if you're playing Forgotten Realms or whatever.
This is ridiculous.
Planescape.
Like, I didn't expect that to increase my DPS because I assumed it just wasn't going to work on things. I'm going to keep an eye on that now, though, because it's proccing a lot.
I mean, I've never seen it proc for me on anything that wasn't summoned, but
Yeah,
maybe.
It makes me wonder if it's something with just the mage pet kind of coding or something.
Who knows? It's possible.
Yeah.
don't worry, I won't say anything.
Yeah, please don't. That's
No,
I want to look it up, but at the same time I don't because I don't want to fix it.
Yeah, I don't want to draw unnecessary attention, however.
There's a lot of things that they didn't fix simply because they were broken in Classic, right? So that might be the answer to your question.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, that sword cuts both ways.
Man, I've been rocking these backpacks since you gave them. I might be losing them tonight.
Well, you can get more.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I think it's time. I haven't turned my computer off. I haven't done nothing. And luckily, like,
If you just want to reboot, you can probably get logged back in before they expire, but you can just get some more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's two things. One, I don't really do it. I don't really turn my computer off too often, anyways. To be honest with you, so it wasn't that big of a. But I'm gonna be making that other character shortly, so I'm like, okay, I got to camp on the month to make the character.
Yeah, that doesn't work out too well.
Make another account.
Right.
I was laughing.
Hey, I could always do what I did when the server was coming down. that was hilarious. I was in the upper gut group and the server was coming down in like 15 minutes. I was like, oh man, I gotta go, guys. So I immediately leave the group, run to Oasis, die by a crocodile. So my corpse sits there and I know where it's at. That way during the downtime it was just on the corpse.
That's curious.
Right? Logged back in on when the servers came back and there was all my summon stuff.
The more you know.
I was like, I wasn't sure if it would work because I remember doing it in live, like in the beginning. I was like, because it's technically whether you log off or not, since it's on the corpse, it's not on your body.
Right.
So I was like, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And it worked. I was like, all right, bet. But at that time, I also had like 7 stacks of throwing daggers and bandages and the backpacks and then the cold stones. I was like, man, I don't want to ask a mage for all. I mean, they might do it, but ugh.
Just depends on how engaged they are. If they're just sitting there in the Eastern Commons tunnel, I seriously don't think they care too much.
True.
Especially if you hand them a couple of plat, right? They just give them something for their time. They're happy to oblige.
Yeah, there was one of the mages in SEAL team. He was camping the Sir Lucas in West Free. And every time I would run by or run into the zone, I guess he was so bored camping that spot because it spawns every 7 days. He would shoot me a tell, and he was like, "Hey, did you need any more bandages and throwing daggers?"
No, it's awesome.
I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, we'll never turn it down."
Hey, was that monk you told to talk to me named Nutbuster?
Sounds about right. I have 11 of the swatches in my bank account. In the bank.
I have one more. And I can easily get as many as you need. So don't let that be a barrier. I'm just coming up on Freeport now, so if I need to run and get some, I can.
That's the name of my brother's neck grill. He's where is he? He's in West Freeport. He has a draw for female characters, if you guys were curious. I think I'm gonna do a dark elf mage.
I was reading his name ironically and found it to be entertaining. Once he puts a surname on there, it should be good.
For Nutbuster?
Oh, Lady Bane.
Oh, Lady Bane. Yeah, I don't know what the heck he's gonna do for that.
Probably find out.
Everyone keeps asking me if I'm gonna do a surname, but I don't think I am.
If it wasn't already the name of the guild, I would have done Moongleam already. So if we ever disband the guild, then I'll make it Moongleam. Do you need me to get some more silk? Chaos?
He's asking for chest, legs, feet, shoulders, and arms, so it's only the 5 pieces. I told him it'd be a bit though because I'm currently trying to at least get Zelos to.
Right. So you can deport. Does he have the spells on him?
No, but he can easily get it.
Right. I forgot. Druids. Do you also want the string that I have? I've got a stack or two. For making the backpacks or whatever.
Backpacks only require the pelt and the pattern.
Oh. I don't know. I guess the only thing they're good for then is padding.
I know you need one for like the alchemy bag with the thick grizzlies.
Well, if you want them, they're yours. Otherwise, I should probably sell them, I suppose.
Before I committed to the green server here, I went back onto live. Forgot my my main account that had my level 100 monk. So I sent in a ticket saying, "Hey, which account is this guy on?" Realized that I didn't really care about it because I pretty much am now here on green. And they sent me a reply to that petition. They're like, "Since it's been 72 hours, we figure this is closed." Good. Yeah, it's closed. I don't really care about that live server anymore.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any reconciling the demands of the present marketplace with the demands of the community on P99. That's why it's here, right?
Yeah. A part of me wishes they could go up to like maybe Planes of Power or that, because I loved raiding in that era. But at the same time, I mean, I am here for a reason.
It would be curious to me. I don't know that the development team is at all interested, right? But if they had free reign from Daybreak to sort of experiment, right? Like if they're going to redo Luckland, right, and they could redo it however they wanted, what would it look like in a P99 image? I'm curious about that, but I'm rather skeptical that I'll ever see it.
And like, so one of the things that I do is like whenever I'm into something, or if I am possibly interested into something, I kind of just do a big like deep dive into it, right? So in this particular case, I ended up doing a big deep dive into Project 90 because I've heard of it, years ago, but never was interested in it at all until now. And there's a big theory that the whole idea of the blue server was supposed to, or kind of is eventually possibly being a server with the Project 99 devs where they can kind of create their own ideas and implement it.
I've seen that on the boards, right? They discussed maybe doing their own content, and I would be totally in favor of that if they chose to go that route, right? And you could just branch from the EverQuest timeline at that point. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, as long as they don't have like ideas of like implementing that across the board, or even if they do kind of take a little free reign, but still kind of maybe follow EQ aspect of it. Like maybe if obviously Daybreak allows it, implementing Lucklin without like the model changes or some of the other possible things that Lucklin destroyed when it came to EQ. Like maybe a Lucklin without plane of knowledge. That way you still have to travel around and still buy ports. And
I have to believe that discussion has been had many times over by the staff, but
yeah.
we're not privy to it, so.
Oh, of course, we're all just kind of speculating, but it's interesting, like how much, like what I would give really to be a fly on the wall, right?
Yeah, it would certainly be interesting. Although I really think that, as far as the market is concerned, that the Pantheon will fill the gap that was left by Sony when they decided that they wanted to go the WoW route with EverQuest. I've been surprised at the negative appraisals that I've gotten from some of my peers with regards to P99, but maybe I shouldn't have been.
What you mean, as far as like where it's at and where
Well,
we're at, as far as the world, or
I have one peer who's older than me who is not really, I wouldn't describe him as technically skilled with, computer games. He likes them, but he's not, I don't know, I mean, any competitive endeavor in that regard, I wouldn't expect much from him.
Yeah.
The other one, I would say he's fairly competent, but he's just younger, and he really played EverQuest 2 a lot, and he doesn't see any of the things that P99 has sought to preserve as, essential or important.
Gotcha. Your first peer sounds like my older brother. It took me like probably about 45 minutes over the phone with him, trying to get him and show him how to download the game in general. It's a little bit harder when you're in the East Coast and he's on the West Coast.
Well, but it certainly doesn't hurt that you're related. And it seems like he's come along, so it can't have been too unsuccessful.
No. He's in the game. That's pretty much all I really needed. Or I should say wanted. He got me into this years ago, so I was like, all right, let me try to get him into this. Repay the favor, pay it forward.
There's definitely not enough time to try everything on the buffet nowadays, so it's useful to have the perspective of other people to inform you on how to spend your time.
Yeah. And that's like, we, as far as like current MMOs and past MMOs, we've tried them. Usually what ends up happening is, I get sucked in and become an elitist and, out-level them by 3-4 times. I don't know if you can see that right now already, but by the time, I'm there, he's like, okay, well, oh well. So I pretty much made a promise to him that I wouldn't leave him in the dust. When I started to, I was like, okay, well, let me get you some belts. Gave him some belts to level up his druid, and then all of a sudden he re-rolled on me to a necro. I'm like, all right, at this damn stage, I might as well make an alt just for you. Because I was talking to, is it Cass?
I think that's totally appropriate.
Yeah, I was talking to Cass because he was. I saw him on his druid in the guild. He's like, yeah, whenever I just want to play solo, I just play on the druid. I'm like, that's a really good idea. I like. Could save my monk for whenever I want to play and do whatever I want to do. But then when my brother's on, if I want to play with him, I could just have that. My brother should be hitting you up as far as a possible meetup.
Oh, I see. He just messaged me. I was doing some trade skills here.
Oh.
Are you there, Chaos? I'm not even sure if I have rights to invite or not. We'll try it.
He just said in guild chat that he is going to take off Discord because he can't hear Zelda.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just message him.
That was the biggest thing that I had to remember too. When I joined, I was like, "Hey, what's the command to see guild members?" Wait a minute, Classic didn't have that. You had to do who all guild. I forgot they didn't have a guild interface for it.
Okay, he's all invited now.
Cool. Shoot, we're gonna do the same thing for my mage, but that could be done later. I'm no rush on that one. He hasn't even been made. I don't even know a name for him yet. Or her. Do I want to make a female? Probably not.
You can't go into the Mages Guild in Freeport because he's a Dark Elf.
Yeah. And a Necker at that.
Oh yeah, both things would be disqualifying.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to go buy his Bind Affinity spell, and I'm like,
I think that it's probably non-trivial to get that faction changed.
I told him he should be able to go underground, but he said that they didn't have it there.
Yeah, there's probably, I don't know if the spell is down there, but there's probably a way into the city. I don't know about the Mages Guild.
Yeah. But I'm actually at the orc camp in the West Commons, just collecting these boats.
I don't know that I have been into this this Mages Guild since I played on Blue a long time ago. I didn't bring enough money. It's 6 platinum. Right.
Oh my god, 6 platinum, Jesus Christ. For level 12 spell, what the hell?
I'll just grab it, it's fine. Just gotta go to the bank first. I'm like, 5 ought to be enough. Nope. To say that having modern hardware to run this on massively improves my player experience.
Yeah.
Just the hard drive alone. Oh, you know why it's so expensive? Because I'm apprehensive. So they're charging me extra. Alright, I think we got your brother all squared away. What are you up to right now? You're killing orcs?
Yeah, I'm killing orcs for the belts at the moment.
Or just they're too low for you to get experience, but you're gathering belts for your brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Half for him and probably half for me.
Right for the other character, yeah.
Figure since I'm off tomorrow, I'll do this for a couple hours and hit the books and go grind.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll get some silk then.
Yes.
Get them all decked out in some cured silk. And I've got an over-the-ear headset, but it has open air vents on the side, and I love them. Best headphones I've ever had. Or
Yeah, I
headset.
get it. One of my buddies is was a professional gamer, so he was sponsored by Logitech, so I have literally everything Logitech thanks.
Yeah, I actually quite like Logitech, except, well, in recent times, I should say. I bought a mouse from them in 1998 or 99 that lasted me 10 years. I love that mouse.
Yeah.
But I think the company has actually changed hands. So I'm not as pleased with their more recent products. They've not, lasted me as long or, been as good. But
That's the only thing I don't
generally, I'm generally positively disposed towards them.
I figured since I got a free keyboard and headset, I was like, okay, I'll spend a little bit for the mouse aspect. So I ended up buying a Zowie mouse.
Can't say I'm familiar with their present lineup.
They're
But
alright. I mean, they
I'm sure
mostly do monitors, but
I'm sure it's good, right? I don't know. I don't think I would make a particularly excellent sponsor unless I already, liked whatever the product was.
yeah, you get. I mean, a part of you about being a sponsor is you do gotta have some type. You gotta like it at the end of the day,
Yeah.
because if you don't,
I mean, I don't want to tell anybody how to run their business, right? If they're endorsing products that they don't actually appeal, I think that's a little bit sketchy, but I don't really care too much. Most of advertising in general is not really what I would call forthright in the first place. So, it's just same old, right? But for me, I couldn't endorse something unless I actually liked it.
yeah. That's me. That's me myself. And then in the particular case of the Logitech aspect of it, I mean, I trusted him because he's done it in the past where if he was sponsored by something, like he was sponsored by Steel Series, and he literally told me never buy anything Steel Series. So I'm like, oh, good to know.
That's funny.
He's like, obviously, don't tell anyone that I said that specifically, but I'm like, yeah, obviously.
No, I mean, I've had, except for the most recent round of products that and that was even some time ago, you know, the tune might be different now. But I think it was I don't remember, G37 or something. I had like 3 of the same mouse and 3 of the same headset that all failed in relatively short order. I was not satisfied. But they were also, you know, altogether, all 3 of those headsets cost less than the one that I have now. So if you kind of get what you pay for.
Yeah. That's kind of one of the things I learned early on is you definitely you get what you pay for.
Not always, of course, but it's generally the case. You know,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not going to go out and buy a set of Beats. I don't think that's necessarily a good sell. They might be great, right? But I think you're paying a lot for the endorsement.
Yep.
I mean, there's all kinds of caveats, but as a general rule, it's not. That's good to remember. Now, if this channel ever matters, right, in any economic way, maybe I just buy one of these headsets for Chaos, and then he can hear while he is using them as well.
That's for who? Which one?
The headset that I have, or the
You
person?
said you were gonna the person, yeah.
Oh, the Luyar is Chaos. Chaos Flux. This is the moniker that he usually uses.
Gotcha. And then I'm assuming his brother doesn't come into Discord?
I know he has. I don't necessarily. I'm not sure why he chose not to today. He probably has some reason or another. I don't know. He's certainly friendly enough. He may just wish to not have the distraction. I wouldn't. You know, that would be reasonable enough.
Yeah.
You know, if he's focused on grinding or whatever. There's a reason for it, I'm sure, but you may yeah. I mean, it's not unreasonable that you would see him in here at some point because he's been on before.
Because the way Chaos made it seem in Guild Chat, his brother like doesn't have a mic or something.
That might be the case as well. Yeah. I don't know, right? I hope that's not the case, but if it is, it's something that's easily remedied.
Yeah. That's what I was just asking my brother. I was like, "Do you have a mic and headset?" And he was like, "Somewhere. I don't know where it's at." I'm like, "Okay."
It's just not a priority to some people. I understand.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it. I have a stack of bone chips. I don't know if there's a place where the Dark Elves can turn them in, but there might be.
No, my brother, he'll probably save them for pets.
Oh yeah, that's totally reasonable. But they're just taking up space in my bank as far as I'm concerned right now. It's not even worth the platinum that I could take to sell them. Right, it would take too long, then it's worth to me, so. Nope, I'm already in Eastern Corona, so I'm going to get some silk.
Yeah, you're good. He'll be alright. I think I have 11 on me anyways.
It isn't like there aren't decaying skeletons all over the place there, so.
Mhm. How reasonable you think it is to get those items for the purple headband?
I really don't know. I might have done that quest on Blue. I don't remember the details at all.
I mean, you might even know the zones really if I just tell you, because I did the headband all the way up to purple. Purple's the only thing I need. For purple, I need the Dagger of Monarch from Buffalo. And then I'll need. Give me a second. I think it's like Zahorn's Cornet from Permafrost. And then that skull that I linked earlier in your chat from Lake Raft.
I don't think that I probably got all that. I rather doubt it.
It's been a while. Like I've never done it here on P99s. I just don't know how those camps are.
I mean, my monk was totally ridiculous. I had a couple of trans sticks on him from like level, whatever he could first equip them, and I was just running around killing stuff. Right, I didn't really need to be in a group at all until, I don't know, like level 30. I mean, I was in a group. I got a ton of levels in Kern's Tower. It was a lot of fun. I was in a group of only monks, 6 monks. It was awesome. Somebody would go and pull something, and they'd bring it in the room, and we'd all pop our cooldown all at once, and it would just fall over.
If you had a Ixar, you probably didn't do the quest thing, because
no, I brought him over to, I don't know if I got on the boat. I got on one of the boats. It must have been the one that goes to Oasis. And, oh no, somehow I didn't make it to the ocean. That's not the Ocean of Tears, whatever that other ocean is called. I got there somehow. I don't recall how I did it. And, the first thing I did was go to Crushbone and kill a crap ton of orcs until I was able to bank in Kelethin. And then after that I started doing like the quest, right? So I must have ridden the boat to Freeport, and then I killed a bunch of Deathfist orcs until I was able to go into Freeport, and I still had to do the thing where you like feign death and sneak, right? But I turned in those quests for all of the belts.
Okay.
And I don't know that I got the purple headband, though. I don't think that I did. So, but man, those trans sticks, right? There's nothing in Classic that even comes close, and they were cheap too. They didn't cost me much.
Yes. That was the biggest thing, is when I was like deciding on the class, I was like, oh, I'll do monk because I know how OP they are. I mean, they're still OP here, but I'm obviously remembering Kunark OP, where like monks really took. But
I don't think they actually get ahead of rogues until sometime in Velius, but they do eventually pass them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, Feign Death alone is such a powerful ability. It allows you to be cocky when you know, other characters can't afford to be cocky. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was me and Renai yesterday. I was literally sneaking around the goblins, just running all the way down to level 4, Feign Death, just chilling.
Oh, I made a huge mistake.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I didn't bring my sewing kit with me.
Oh, rip. There's a vendor somewhere around there, maybe?
There might be. That's probably the way to go. Yeah, I'll have to look on the wiki. I don't know. Or I could just run him down to Luyar, who is in Southern Corona. He might have his. Or I can ask him in chat. There might be one. I'll check the vendors here.
Hey, good night, man.
Later.